Hey, what's going on, my YouTube family? It is your most gracious host, King David, and I'm here to do a short video called Success Defined? Question mark. Success defined. How do you define success? What do you consider being successful? Right? And I notice there's a divide between the older black generation and the intermediate black generation. So my parents are 60. I'm 29, my brother's 33. So we all look at things differently from a different perspective. Now, I just recently got into a heated discussion with my mom about what success is, what I should and should not be doing. Her synopsis is, well, it's hard out here, but you can work a job and you can be successful working a job. I didn't do too bad. Like, yeah, ma, you work for GM. GM pays pretty good. Even if you can get in GM now, they might start out like 14, but they still pay pretty good. But the jobs of GM, Ford, Chrysler, the factory jobs, those good, high paying, minimal skill jobs are no longer here. No longer here. They have been shipped overseas. But she's like, well, your cousin, such and such and such and such, and his wife doesn't work and he doesn't make what I make. Well, yeah, he lives in a different state, in a different city, and I guarantee you the cost of living is lower and the property value is lower. So therefore, he can make a lower wage and still afford a decent house, kids, and for his wife not to work and still have nice things. I mean, there's no disrespect to him. Hey, I'm happy for the man. If that's what he got, if that's the way he want to do it, that's fine. Hey, do it, get it how you live. That's not me. My mom, well, you've been fired from a lot of these jobs, and I know you have an attitude problem. No, I don't have an attitude problem. I want to come in, do my job, and go home. That's all I've ever really wanted to do was come in, do my job, and go home. Sure, I fucked up. I've made mistakes along the way. I admit that. But I've dealt with a lot of bullshit, a lot of white supremacy on my jobs. Which is why, when I said in Entrepreneur number 3 video that I don't want to work for a white man for the rest of my life, and she doesn't understand it. She don't understand it, but then again, she doesn't understand racism as I understand it. The system of white supremacy. She don't understand it. And I know it's not necessarily her fault because, the older generation, they're stuck in their ways. You can't tell them nothing. You really can't. Because they feel like, well, hell, I've lived my life and I did pretty good. I don't need to learn nothing else. And that's just the way the older generation is. They're set in their ways. I don't care if you black, white, Asian, Chinese, whatever. I mean, the old generation are typically stuck in their ways. And her mindset is, find you a good job working for a good white man and you can be successful. I say, Ma, that's not my definition of success. That's not success to me. I was like, what my definition of success is? Success defined for King David is having something that I can pass down to my kids. That's success. Working for a white man with a 401k and some benefits is not fucking success. That ain't success. You can't pass your job down to your kids. Like Dame Dad said, you can't pass your job down to your kids. But if you have a business, you could pass that down. If you own and control something, you could pass that down. Hey, if you want to work for a white man, you work for that white man. I know plenty of people who work for white people and get their thing on the side. Whatever that may be, that's perfectly fine. Me personally, I cannot work for a white man for the rest of my life. Damn near all the jobs I have been smarter than my white bosses. I have been faster, stronger, like more physically and mentally equipped to deal with the job and be able to get it done. But, as a black man living in America, you have a glass ceiling, right? And my glass ceiling has been like right here for the longest. I've hit the glass ceiling. That's why I had changed industries from floor care to landscaping and lawn care. I mean, that ain't what I want to do permanently, but it's way better now. I mean, it's got the potential for more pay. Probably won't be there that long. But, my mom's like, well, you failed at these jobs and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And you're almost 30. Okay. I'm still young. And I know exactly what I need to do, and I need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, the only thing that's holding me back, and has been holding me back for the longest, is not having a car. I have not had a car because I don't have the money to buy a car because I got other things I got to do. When I did have a car, it was a piece of shit. I would buy a piece of shit car, and I would try to work on this piece of shit car. But the thing is, trying to work on a piece of shit car that's your daily driver is still a piece of shit. And the piece of shit breaks down, and it's really a piece of shit now that's done broke down, and it's a money pit. It's what they call a money pit. You keep pouring money into it, it's still a piece of shit. But my plan is to work this job because I got a job, and it's cool now. It's cool. I don't have to deal with no drama, none of that. I can come into work, do my job, mow, trim, blow, and go home. I don't have to deal with none of that extra stuff. I might even come back with them next year. Who knows? But, my plan is to, before they start laying off, to hand me a car so I can move on to the next step. But I see success for the older generation, especially the older black generation, let's say that. The success for the older black generation is work for a white man, getting that pension and 401k, and living your life. I did the best I could. I worked for that white man. Success for me is building my own enterprise. If I know that I am capable of working for myself, why would I work for somebody else? I mean, half the jobs I've been in, like I say, I could run the damn business better than they could damn run it. But I haven't had an opportunity. Because as a black man, the stakes are stacked so high against me. And I have to overcome. So I'm like, okay, so you want me to work for a white man? Well, that's black, yeah. No. I'm not going to work for a white man for the rest of my life. So a white man can start a business, but I can't start a business. Well, that it's easier for white people. Yeah, obviously it is. But black people do have it harder, but it ain't like we ain't never started businesses before. Stop it. And I know she being worried because she don't want to see me fail. But the thing is, like my nigga Starlito said, you can't fail until you quit. And I haven't quit. And I don't plan to quit. But I want to be in a position to where I can put people on. I want to pass something down to my kids. I want to have more than a couple dollars in the bank or stored up in case of any emergency. I want to be able to do things my way. And that's it. Like, I can do it. I know I can do it. If I'm an Olympic sprinter and I'm running a quarter mile in X amount of time, and I know I can be faster. If I'm an athlete and I'm playing basketball and I'm playing football, and my stats are cool, but I know I could be better. If I'm LeBron James and I won a championship, I'm still gonna be okay. I can do better. I can push harder. I can be more. But when you're not allowed to be more, when you're not allowed to grow, that's what hurts you. Like Dr. Wilson said in Hidden Colors, it's like an animal being in a cage. And as the animal grows, it grows, and shortly the cage is too small for it. But instead of getting the animal a bigger cage, you let the animal continue to stay in the cage, and then it becomes deformed because it doesn't grow properly. That's the way I feel working for somebody else. Like I say, success to me is not getting that 401k. If that's success to you, that's fine. Success is defined by each individual basis. But for me, personally, I call myself a king for a reason. Because I deserve king status. And it's not about my dad opening his own business or whatever. But I mean, I talked about that. He could have been successful. But he's not. But I'm different from him. I've learned from a lot of his mistakes. Definitely smarter than him. You know. Can definitely go harder. But, you know, the thing is, when you go against the grain and you do things that people don't consider proper or don't consider right or don't consider, you know, the perfect way to go or the safest way to go, people are going to be against you. I know my mom's against me. She wants the best, but she can't understand it. Mom deals with white supremacy too. You know, she got some white supremacist views, but that's the way the system made her. So she doesn't understand my plight as a black man to want to be able to build something, not only for me, but for my children, for my children's children. I want to start building wealth. She don't understand that. She thinks it's monetary gain. She looks at it monetary. I'm not doing this for me per se. I'm doing this more for my kids. It's just like, you know, we was talking today, and she owns a 2-story bedroom, you know, 2-story house, real nice. It's my childhood home. It's like, well, you know, when I die, you know, we're gonna sell the house. No, we shouldn't sell the house. We should keep the house. Well, what are you gonna do? You gotta rent it out, let somebody tear it up. I said, no, I'm gonna live in it. Well, you sell the house. Why would I want to sell the house? She doesn't understand. I said, if the house is paid for and all you have to do is pay $3,000 taxes, $3,000 taxes a year, that ain't shit. That's what? 2 months worth of wages? So you figure you save 3 racks, 2 months, and you still have 10 months to do everything else. 3 racks, it's not that, it's nothing. 3 racks ain't nothing. Black people need to understand. When you own property, when you own land, and it's paid for, all you had to do was pay them taxes. Keep that shit. Keep it. Pay those taxes. That's all you had to do. Taxes and a little maintenance? That ain't shit. White people been holding on millions of acres of land for hundreds of years, and all they had to do was pay taxes and maintenance. And you ain't think they did that shit? They did, and still doing it. I'm going to take that and I'm going to apply it to me. Like I say, if everything works out the way I plan it to work out, and it's not a dream. She keeps saying, but this is a dream, this is a dream. No. My success is not a dream. It is a goal. It is a must. There is a extreme driving force in me. There is a fire that burns hot. Blue flame. Blue flame hot. It burns with a passion to do something more for my people and my community. I know she doesn't have that drive. I know a lot of people don't have that drive. They're going to say, well, you're 30 and you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that. But let me tell you something. The most successful people in the world have failed quite a few times. Bill Gates has failed. Oprah's failed. LeBron failed. Hell, LeBron failed a couple times. That nigga tried to take Cleveland to a championship a couple times and failed, but he finally got his ring, didn't he? He persevered and he got his ring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to handle my business. I'm going to stick with the plan. And as the plan progresses and as the plan grows, you're going to see me grow. And that's my goal. To grow enough to do my own thing and leave something for my kids. Because I'm doing this for the next generation and not for me. So, I mean, that's really it, people. That's my definition of success. Success defined for King David is having something to leave for his children and my niece and nephew, family members, and my community. That is success defined for me. Success defined for David is not working for a white man for the rest of his life doing nothing. Now, if I get one of those jobs and I'm working for a white man and I'm still doing my thing on the side, I'm still doing my thing on the side. I'm getting my side money. But eventually it comes to a point where your side money needs to become more than your main money, just in case some shit happens with that job. And you know, a lot of times it does, because you being a black person, they gonna find any excuse to fire you. When they fire you, or some bullshit happens, or some racism happens, and you decide, hold up, I ain't gotta take this, I'm making more money on the side anyway. You can say, hey, you know what, white man, kiss my black ass, fuck you, I'm out, because you know what, I got this enterprise on the side. That's success. Peace.